Okay, so it's day 10 of April. I just got done with my uh, like hour of just playing through all my music that I'm playing, like my accompanying and all my repertoire. Uh, I've been thinking a lot about my master class and what the master was telling me about with imagery and music. I've been thinking a lot about imagery and music lately. Well, like today and yesterday, and I wonder. So I think it's made me realize that me as a pianist, I'm a very practical, and what I get out of it, what I get out of piano, or what I want is to have a deep understanding of the practical knowledge behind how to use the instrument, because I think that's what it comes down to. And that's what's most important to me is a deep understanding of the skill. It's a tool. The instrument is a tool, and you have to use the tool. It's just the same way you use a knife to slice tomatoes. Well, okay, that's a little bit of a stretch, but it's the same. I think it's the same kind of, like, you have to know how to sharpen the knife. You have to know how to hold the tomato. And in this way, I think of myself as a technician a lot of the time, as a musician, but also a technician, uh, and a technician in the sense that, like, just knowing how to use the tool. And it involves a lot of technique, obviously, in the name, like piano technique, knowing how to press the keys literally, what kinds of, and the part is your body, how to use your body with the tool, because yeah, piano is just so much. It's such a synergy between the human body and this instrument that humans made, this tool that humans made. Um, and so, for me, it comes down to a lot of really specific, practical, uh, literal and physical, all the adjectives, literal, physical things I need to do to change the sound. How do I make this sound? Well, I need to use my body this way. If I want to make a loud sound, there are two things that are involved with it, and it's um, the speed with which the hammer hits the string, and the amount of weight behind it, the amount of weight behind the hammer at that moment of contact, which is also is sort of twofold with the um, contact time with the string, and it's like microseconds of difference. But this is about the extent that we have control, we as pianists have control over the timbre and the sound of the piano. And this is, to me, what it comes down to, is these things of how do we control these two parameters, the speed and the weight of the hammers that are downstream of the piano keys. Um, and so for me, imagery doesn't mean anything. But then I think about, it does sound like playing a piece of music just does sound different, and you just play it differently if you think of imagery. If you think of playing a piece sadly, or a piece in a happy way, it will sound different. But it's not. And the part I don't like about that eludes me is that it sort of defies this structure and logic I made to my understanding of the instrument. Uh, and what I realize is that we're not machines. I somehow forgot about that. Like that even me, as much as I want the instruments, as much as I want to understand the instrument as a as a as a tool, as a checklist of, there's just things, if I check all the boxes, I'll play it right. I forgot that we're just not machines, and we're not computers, and there is a human aspect that I just can't understand, despite being like, not that I don't understand, but we can't understand, and that's what makes art beautiful and great. Um, And so, yeah, I've been thinking a lot about imagery and how I can add that into my own playing. For me, I wonder if, well, it's only been a day. I've been trying a little bit, like playing my Mendelssohn, to think of it, to think of what I see in the theater of it all. It's a very theatrical piece, of course. Um, and I don't know how much. Certainly, it changes the music, like I just said. But practically, it's hard to quantify what it gives me, like what it tells me to change. So I still hugely believe in a strong foundation of technical knowledge. But what I think I've gained from this very unique or very disparate perspective of mine is that the imagery helps take me out of all the technical overthinking while performing, because it all comes down to performing, actually. So the whole thing is about performing, because in performance, of course, I'm a performing musician. I tend to just start overthinking and thinking faster than the music should go. So I overthink, and I go through my technique checklist of what I need to do to play. And it runs away from me. But I think that the imagery does two things. I think the first thing is that it lets you relax. It lets you enjoy it. Not that I don't enjoy playing my music. I hugely enjoy playing technical music. But of course it's exhausting. So it lets you enjoy it in a different way. I think it lets you enjoy it almost separating yourself as a performer even. You can enjoy it just as something that comes out of you. And the second one is that, I forgot. Maybe that I think that it helps with memory. That was what I was getting at, is that it helps with memory. And by like sort of detaching yourself from the technique. Oh, the second thing was that, sort of in the same vein of memory, is that it forces you to have faith in your technique and your skill and the work that you put in, as opposed to beating yourself up, or not beating yourself, but like trying to pull yourself into line while performing it. So it shifts sort of the expectations you have of yourself in performance, because performance is different than practice, and I think sometimes I treat performance as practice, which is funny because performance is practice, but in the sense of like I take the performance as like very I get stuck in in just the technical things I have to do. And so imagery and emotion and expression is something that can give you something to latch onto while you have faith in the skill that you have achieved by now. It takes a lot of trust to be a musician, actually. I'm learning that now. And so much, and lots of just holding yourself to a high standard. Yeah, that's actually also, that's another thing I've been thinking about, is that really this past month, maybe since March or something, I think I've been trying to focus on holding myself to a higher standard, much higher standards, especially with like accompanying and being a collaborative pianist, because that really appeals to me. I feel like collaborative pianists have a really hard job, and like I really look up to the collaborative piano faculty here. It just seems like such a monumental, like it's so much work and it's so much practice to put in to just know how to be a collaborative pianist. So that's also something I want to focus on, is and it really just comes down to attention to detail and not blowing through the attentions, blowing off the detail. But yeah, that's what I've been thinking about lately. So yeah, I'm very glad that I did that masterclass, because the pianist is wildly different from me, which is the best thing. I think that's the best way to learn, is from people who are wildly different from you, because you can learn the most. And even today, as I've been playing through my repertoire, just as my warm up for the whole day, uh, especially in my Mendelssohn that I ran through, it's it allowed me. I was thinking about it, but of course I'm not well practiced in it yet. Is that I was thinking about it, and it. First of all, my tempo did not run away from me the whole take, which is good. And it also let me have more freedom, I think, just because freedom's a good word. It let me have more freedom in what I did, um, because I was seeing the horizontal aspect of what's going on in just the theater of the music, and I think it made it a more effective performance. So yeah, that's my thoughts.